lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
You say you feel defeated and you're down for the count. You feel like life has thrown you blows and God ain't been around. But I've come to encourage you, so hold your head high. Know that God is in your corner now, no more inner lies. You are a winner, you just can't lose. More than a conqueror, Jesus in you. You are a winner, you were born to win. Who burned a chaos, more than a conqueror, power within. You are a winner.
Praise the Lord. Indeed, you are a winner. Welcome, 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 one and all, to the Loretta Petit Show, Women Winning at Life, from ministry to marketplace. I want to give a clarion call for my sister girls to wake up, to rise up, to get up, and never give up nor give in to complacency, because we win. The end of the story tells us that we win. I want to say it again. We win. Amen. Don't forget, you have everything inside of you that you need to win, to be the winner that you were designed to be. We have the tools to win, so rise and be wise and go after everything that God says that you can have. Again, I want to welcome you to the broadcast on today. It is my pleasure to share with you, and I certainly do give God the praise for this awesome privilege. Want to thank Ms. Kimmy Kim as well as Mr. Jerry Royce for this golden opportunity. I thank each of you. Today I've got a special guest sharing with me on the Loretta Petit Show. She is going to tell us about her experience at the 50-year march of saying goodbye to the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. But just before she comes, I want to give you an opportunity to plug into something that's awesome and powerful, and it's happening in the city of New Orleans, but you may be here around that time. I'm not sure. I can't tell. So all I could do is tell you what's happening, and perhaps you would want to plug in. You can go to the website, WOE conference.org. That's WOE conference.org. And when you say a word like WOE, you're like, why would I want to go there? Well, because WOE in this instance stands for Women of Excellence, under the leadership of Pastor Deborah B. Morton. And, of course, she is covered by her husband, our co-pastor and overseer, the Bishop Paul S. Morton Sr. So we're gearing up for our 31st year of our women's conference, going strong all these years, every time we get together. What a time, what a time, what a time. So, ladies, wherever you are, I love for you to plug in. If not this year, get connected. Read what's on the site so you'll be connected for the next time around. It's happening right here in the city of New Orleans on next week. We're going to gear up for a happy time in the Lord, April 18th through the 20th, right here in the city of New Orleans. And we're going right into her pastoral anniversary, so I want to give a shout-out. She's got friends all over the nation, so maybe one of you listening, you know my senior pastor, co-pastor, formerly to Bishop Paul S. Morton, but now she is the senior pastor of the Greater St. Stephen Church, Full Gospel Baptist Church, that is, and she's celebrating 10 years of pastoring. So, ladies, wherever you are, you know, they used to always say that our place was in the house, and someone came up with a witty thought, and she was accurate. The House of Representatives, yes, we can go there. We have gone there. We have conquered. And whatever's left to conquer, we can conquer that too. So I want everyone to stand up inside your own design and believe that you can be all that God designed you to be. We are the real architects of society, some might say. But Oprah Winfrey said this. She wants us to think like queens. She said, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail, because failure is another stepping stone to greatness. So, you know, prayerfully, the words that I share will not fall on deaf ears, and someone who did not feel encouraged, who did not feel empowered, who did not feel a healthy self-esteem will say, wait a minute. It's happening other places. Certainly it can happen in me and for me. And I want to say, yeah, you're right. It certainly can. Okay, so at this time now, I'm going to patch in my friend and cohort. She's an elder in the ministry, and, of course, she's a businesswoman, too. She knows her worth, praise God. So she took some time out to head on out to that 50-year march, and I want to know firsthand her experience, because I wasn't there. Many of you perhaps took part in one in L.A. There was a march in D.C., a march in Atlanta, and so many other places around the nation. But she headed out to Memphis, Tennessee. So at this time, I want you to welcome my guest, Elder Dawn Holmes. All right, Elder, take yourself off mute, and hello, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and you're doing a great job, Pastor Petit. This is
bless you.
Yes, thank you. Certainly, it's a blessing to even be invited to your show.
Well, praise the Lord. Welcome to the Loretta Petit Show, Women Winning at Life, from ministry to marketplace. So, of course, about 50 years ago, we said goodbye to the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't want to say goodbye. We said so long. We shall see him in that great by and by one day. So, listen, people gathered all around the nation, and you went to Memphis, Tennessee. So, first of all, I want to know what gave you the presence of mind to plan that trip?
Well, actually, we were invited. Some family members invited us, and we went along with another church, Pastor Willie Gable's church, Progressive Church on South Robertson Street, and he had people from all over that came. We went on like 13 buses to the actual march, and it was just wonderful to unite with all of these people from all over the world that wanted to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King, and also to participate in the remembrance of the sanitation worker strike. So it was just such a blessing. We went on the bus with this group. It was called Unite Here, and they are a part of an organization that helps unions and partner with people who need help with a united voice for social justice and for unions to for better pay and social justice.
Exactly. They did. We did. And we must continue to fight for social justice, too, because we're not 100% there. We still have injustices that is a part of our life, our journey, our existence. They're still very, very prevalent. And so I wanted to know what gave you the presence of mind, because I know many times life happens and we get caught up in the whirlwind of our lives and what we normally do. And when we are able to take a few moments away, sometimes we can recognize we need to step out of that whirlwind of our lives and what we're normally doing to take a stand that could be recognized by community for community. And, of course, you stepped out of that and you were invited, and that was a blessing. So when you got to Memphis, what was one of the first things that you guys did after you got settled there?
One of the first things we did was we actually went to the Masonic Temple where Dr. King gave his last speech. And several speeches there. And so it was just iconic. It was just moving to me to be in the place where he was. The temple is restored, and it was beautiful to see all of people, white and black, gathered together in this temple. So we went there. That was one of the first places that we went. And there was.
Well, praise God for that. So I know that his daughter, Bernice King, she gave a message in the Atlanta at the Atlanta March, and there was a young person, a young guy that stood up and said they gave him an opportunity. He said that Dr. King opened doors for him. And as he was already running his own business, he said, well, without Dr. King, I don't know if I will be able to do this today. And I feel like he represented me. And this young man said he was so grateful. 13 years old, already a business owner. And he feels that the gratitude that he has goes to Dr. King and what he stood for and what he fought for. And so that opened doors for us on so many levels. People did die in the process, and people were injured and hurt and jailed, in the process. But it certainly did open doors. And I like to applaud America, Black America in particularly, for still saluting this man of God so many years later, because he took a giant step in putting his life on the line. And all the others that were with him, because not one man can't make a movement great like that. It was all of those that saw the need and came together as one force, as one voice, and they united with the vision. So I just want to say hats off to America, but most especially to Black America. for continuing this legacy. So after you guys did that at the Masonic Temple, so how many days, first of all, were you there?
We were there for, let me see, the 2nd through the 4th, April 2nd through the 4th.
And did you have something happening every day?
We got there that Monday, so really Tuesday and Wednesday were the main days that events were happening that we got to go to. So I didn't get a chance to go to the Lorraine Motel. That's where I wanted to go, the museum. I didn't get a chance to go to that. But what I want to also say, too, is that we must remember that the 1,300 sanitation workers, that's what sprawled the whole idea of Dr. Martin Luther King joining forces in solidarity with them, because it was the sanitation workers who started this strike because they were working in deplorable conditions and they were working without insurance, and they were trying to support their families. But 2 of the workers had gotten smashed and crushed by a faulty truck, which caused these 1,300 workers to say enough is enough, and we got to make a stand. And so they, started this strike, and Dr. Martin Luther King said, was invited to come, and he came, and of course he wanted to march with them on strike to combine his civil rights movement with their striking movement of I Am a Man movement, deserving more better working conditions and equal pay and everything. And so that first march, Dr. Martin Luther King came. I didn't understand this. He believed in nonviolence, but it was a violent march. The police were beating them for no reason, so he left. So the second time he came was when there was a nonviolent, before, when he gave that speech, that iconic speech, they were going to go forth in a nonviolent march. So
he was
this is how the
nonviolent.
Right, but it became violent the first time.
Platform, but because it's not easy for people to change, the people that were trying to get to change, they were not trying to take it peaceably. So they took it to violence, and that's how it happened. But yet he was always preaching and teaching the fact that we did not have to fist fight our way through, but we could have a demonstration and not be violent from our standpoint, not start any kind of trouble. But it was always the people we were trying to get to change that would start, beating and putting, and drowning them in water and putting dogs on them and all of that. At the time, the police was just not having it. And so the local minister, James Lawson, he is noted for inviting Dr. King to Memphis, Tennessee, to come and help with the sanitation strike.
He was there.
And I think he's still alive. Wasn't he at the march?
He was there. Dr. James Lawson was there, and Dr. Bill Lucy, because they helped to begin the, they chaired the strike. So it was wonderful to see them speak and see them still alive and still in the fight. And they even had the 2. There are 2 sanitation workers out of those 13 originals that were alive. They were there and they were honored, and that was a blessing to see them speak and feel their passion and feel the pain of what they were feeling back then, and even to now see that the struggle is still here, because equal pay is still not fair, and civil rights and human rights. But it was just a blessing. Danny Glover was there hosting it and everything. Barack Obama was there. Congressman Sheila Lee was there, and she's a powerful woman of God that gave some powerful words. She said, "Let's never be divided, but always united." But, she was powerful in her speaking. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King III was there. He was there also and spoke. So many dignitaries that were there, and it was just such a blessing.
What were your emotions like being a part of such a historical event?
I was overly emotional when we did the march. When we did the march from the Union 1733 down Danny, I forget the street, to the Mason Masonic Temple. I just felt emotional saying, being able to be in a demonstration, being able to be in the place where everything took place and then understanding things better, because a lot of times we take our history for granted. We hear it and like, oh, that doesn't affect us. But it does, because what started then, we're still in that same fight, but we have power if we unite and continue on. So I just was emotional, and it made me motivated to wanna get involved, to want to stand even more for what is right. You know, and to know my worth. To know my worth. No one can tell me what I'm not worth and what my pay should be and dictate. You know, my human rights.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It was a blessing.
So you guys went to the Masonic Temple. Then you got together for the march. And the march was about how long? How many, you know, miles? Or was it a mile, more than one? How many miles was it?
I believe it was like 3 miles that we marched.
Were you chanting? Were you singing? What was going on while you were marching?
We were chanting, united, united. We are united. The focus was, I am. You know, I am a man. That was the famous slogan then. But, of course, I am a woman. I am somebody. So it was everyone, uniting arms together, you know, and it was awesome. It was thousands and thousands of people that came. So if you go to the site, unite, if you go to the sites, Unite here, and the march, you know, the 50th commemoration ceremony from Dr. Martin Luther King. If you go on those sites, you could actually see the pictures and the photos.
Because as I'm saying, there were marches going on in so many cities. There was a march also in D.C., and I think they had like 200 and something thousand folks. And then you had the march in Atlanta where Dr. King's daughter was. And then you had, to my knowledge, a march in Los Angeles. So there were marches going on, I think that week, I don't know if it was a weekend, in the middle of that week, there were marches going on. And I just think that's awesome. I mean, I think it's awesome so many years later, we are still honoring the great work and the great vision of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's absolutely awesome. So I thank you for sharing your experience with us on today, Elder. So you said it was thousands of people, and that you marched for about 3 miles, and you guys also went to the Masonic Temple, the place where he delivered that speech. But you didn't get an opportunity to go to the Lorraine Motel, and I have been there. I have looked into the room. I can tell you that they have they put the saucer or the plate there, what he was eating out of, on the nightstand, and it's still there. And they kind of recreated some of the ways that the room was, you know, the messiness of the bed, which wasn't very messy, but I'm just saying, as you sit on the bed, what it would look like, and you know, the cups or the glasses that they were drinking out, you know, the 2 rooms that were adjacent to each other, and the room where Dr. King was staying. So it is a place that you might want to see and lock down in your memory, you know, for historical value purposes. But, it's so sad to say that a man that was a peaceful man was killed in such a manner by a coward so many years ago. And it's just really a shame, but we're so glad that he went at it with 110%, because he left us so much more to work with, you know? So that was really a blessing. So
change did happen. Change did happen. Change did happen when, you know, he died, but change did take place, you know. Absolutely. His death was not in vain. We're still fighting, but change did take place. What was your question?
Did you guys do anything else while you were there? Any other takeaways you had?
I didn't know that G.E. Patterson, when those men walked off their jobs. I didn't know that G.E. Patterson, the late G.E. Patterson, actually supplied them with a lot of their food and supplies and stuff. He took his own money and supply. I didn't know that, so we got a chance to visit his church also, which is not far.
Awesome.
So that
yes. He was a great man of God. Great man of God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bishop G.E. Patterson. And we certainly honor his memory as well. But thank you so much again for being a part of the program today and enlightening us. And I didn't know about Bishop G.E. Patterson either. I did not know that he went to the Masonic Temple in that location. So that was good information. And, of course, the march and what it meant to you and how it touched you emotionally. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And never forget the sanitation workers, how they took a stand. It's not easy to take a stand because you got to think about, well, this money I get from this job is taking care of my rent, it's taking care of my house note, it's taking care of my utilities, my family is eating. So if I take this strike, if I take this stand, I don't know where we're going to eat from. I don't know how we're going to make it. But, you know, sometimes you sell out your stand for getting that paycheck, and it's normal. We understand that. But at some point, you have to do the extraordinary thing, right, and take that stand and, you know, pool together your resources. And you guys, you know, we should be able to make it. So praise the Lord for you, and thank you once again for sharing with us on today. We hope that you can come back another time, and we can talk about something a little bit more, I guess, joyful, because even though this was something historical, it still stirred up sad memories about why you were there in the first place, you know. But then it was bittersweet because, like you said, he did make some changes by making the stand and taking the stand and moving the people forward and marching. So praise the Lord for the late great Dr. King. All righty then. Well, as we get back to our broadcast, and again, thank you, Elder Dawn. I pray you have a blessed day on today.
You too.
So
thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. As we prepare to close out, we have a few more minutes left in the program. If there's any callers, anybody have any questions, you may call us at this time. I am really trying real hard to remember to give this number out, and I always tend to forget to do that. But I do want to give you an opportunity to call, and you can dial us at 646-564-9842. If you have an experience you'd like to share, I have a moment to hear you. 646-564-9842. Or any other question or comment, we do welcome that at this time. So to my sister girls, remember now, this show is about what's happening in our society, what's happening in our communities, but most of all, it's about what's happening with you. It's a show about self-evaluation for the purpose of elevation. Many times we cannot get to the next level because we don't really know where we're going. So we've got to take a look at what's going on within us, what we're trying to accomplish, create some goals, listen to your vision, and then start to map it out. Start to decide how you're going to put one foot in front of the other to get to that place where you're trying to go. When we fulfill our function, which is to truly love ourselves and to share love with others, then true happiness sets in. I want you also to focus on that. Learn to be joyful and happy, and learn to be appreciative of life, because God has given us so much to work with every morning, a clean slate. Let's take that clean slate and let's paint the picture that we want to see. Let's paint the place where we want to go. Let's take control of our lives. And don't limit yourself because of others. Don't limit your imagination. And never let others limit you and convince you that you are not worth it, because you're worth everything that God has designed for you to have. So as I prepare to leave today, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And again, I want to thank Mr. Jerry Royce and Ms. Kimmy Kim for this blessed opportunity. Remember, again, it's my intent to cause self-evaluation for the purpose of elevation. And today, I want you to know that you are important to God. So next time, join me here for 5 p.m., Women Winning at Life, from Ministry to Marketplace, the Loretta Petit Show. And your final thought is simply this. Be crazy enough to know you can do anything in life. Till next time, bye-bye.
I'm just an ordinary person, living life on the edge of expectation. Ever since my life took on a new direction, I've been living life contrary to condemnation. Because God, you had mercy on me. You revealed your son in me. Opened my eyes and now I see to live my life more abundantly. I'm walking by faith and not by sight, in your power and not my own might. And I live to die so you can increase and I decrease. You're wonderful, yes you are. Tremendous, yes you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exceptional, yes you are. And I see, but I see so differently. And I know that changing my position. I no longer live in hate, but in love. I'm living in opposition. I was lost, but now I'm found. Doing things my way, now I live to do what you say. And the times I thought I knew what to do, I now know you know things through and through. You're wonderful, yes you are. Yeah, 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 yeah. Joe walking around.